There's a pattern in history that's toppled empires and democracies alike. France, Russia, Cuba, three governments that looked untouchable, until they weren't. Each followed the same six-stage script. And right now, in 2025, the United States is at stage 4. The stage where trust collapses. The stage before chaos. Let's break it down. Evolutions aren't protests. They're not elections. They're when the old order is destroyed and replaced by something new, usually worse. They don't start because people are poor. Poverty's always existed. They start when people's expectations explode past reality. When the gap between elites and everyone else breaks the social contract. John F. Kennedy said it best. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. 3 centuries, 3 revolutions, 1 repeating pattern. And America has already checked off 4 of the 6 stages. The pattern begins. France, 1789. Stage 1. Extreme inequality. 1.5% of France, clergy and nobles, paid 0 taxes. Everyone else paid everything. Bread was 88% of a peasant's budget. When prices doubled, people starved. Stage 2. Corruption and incompetence. King Louis XVI kept borrowing, kept partying. Elites refused reforms. The government went bankrupt. Stage 3. Middle-class radicalized lawyers and merchants, the people meant to stabilize society, snapped. They declared themselves the National Assembly and demanded a constitution. July 14, 1789. The Bastille fell. Stage 4. Loss of faith in institutions. The monarchy, church, courts, gone. When people lose faith, radicals rise. Stage 5. Mass support for extremes. Robespierre promised purity. Stage 6. Government overthrown. 40,000 executed in the Reign of Terror. 10 years later, Napoleon ruled a dictatorship. Pattern complete. The same script. Russia, 1917. Stage 1. Elites own everything. Peasants own nothing. Stage 2. Tsar Nicholas II. Weak divine right delusion. 0 reform. Stage 3. Middle class and soldiers revolt. By March 1917, even the army refused to defend the throne. Stage 4. Faith collapses. Provisional government fails. Stage 5. Lenin and the Bolsheviks promise peace, land, bread. Stage 6. Coup. Civil war. 10 million dead. Once again, the moderates failed. The radicals won. Cuba, 1959. Modern version Stage 1. Wealth centered in Havana elites and U.S. corporations. Stage 2. Batista's corruption. Stage 3. A lawyer named Castro radicalized. Stage 4. Brutality erased Batista's legitimacy. Stage 5. Mass support for rebels. Stage 6. Batista flees. Castro takes power. 60 years of dictatorship. 3 revolutions. 3 collapses. Same pattern. All right, this is where it gets absolutely terrifying. Because what I'm about to show you is that the United States is following the exact same pattern. Let's break down the 6 stages explicitly. Because once you see them, you'll understand exactly where America is right now. Stage 1. Extreme wealth. Inequality. Check in 1980. The top 1% in America controlled 8% of wealth. Today, 32%? That's higher than France in 1789. The top 0.1%, about 130,000 households, own more wealth than the bottom 90%. That's 117 million households, mate. The gap between billionaires and everyone else is larger than any time in American history. Larger than the Gilded Age. Larger than the 1920s. The rich are visible everywhere. Private jets, mega yachts, space tourism. While the middle class can't afford homes, healthcare, or education. While millions work multiple jobs just to survive, the rage is building, and it's justified. Stage 2. Government corruption and incompetence. Check trust in Congress is at 15%. 15%. Trust in the Supreme Court is collapsing. Half the country believes elections are rigged. Insider trading by members of Congress is rampant. Lobbyists write legislation. Corporations own politicians. And nothing gets done. Infrastructure is crumbling. The debt is $36 trillion and climbing. Problems that should be solved aren't because government doesn't serve the people. It serves donors. When both parties are seen as corrupt and incompetent, when voters believe the system is rigged, faith in democracy dies. Stage 3. Middle class destroyed and radicalized. Check. The American middle class is being hollowed out. College is unaffordable. Housing is unaffordable. Healthcare costs are bankrupting families. Wage growth is stagnant while asset prices explode. And young people, educated young people, can't achieve what their parents had. They're drowning in student debt, can't buy homes, can't start families, and they're angry. When lawyers, teachers, engineers, the people who should be succeeding are failing, they radicalize. They look for someone to blame, and they find targets: the elites, the billionaires, the system. This is how revolutions start, not with the poorest, with the educated who expected better. Stage 4. Loss of faith in institutions. Check, we're here right now. Trust in media is at all-time lows. Trust in police has collapsed. Trust in elections is broken. Half the country believes the 2020 election was stolen. The other half believes January 6th was a coup attempt. Neither side trusts the other. Neither side believes the institutions are legitimate. The courts are seen as political. The FBI is seen as political. Everything is seen through a partisan lens. And when that happens, when people stop believing in shared institutions, the country is no longer united. It's two nations occupying the same territory, waiting for a spark. France had the Estates General. Russia had Bloody Sunday. Cuba had Batista's brutality. America? It could be anything. A contested election, an economic crash, a political assassination, a police incident that goes viral. The kindling is dry. We're just waiting for the match. We're in stage 4 right now. And history says stage 5 comes next. Stage 5. Revolutionary movement gains mass support. This hasn't happened yet. Not fully. But the pieces are forming, mate. On the left, there's growing support for socialist policies, wealth redistribution, eat the rich rhetoric. On the right, there's growing support for authoritarianism, strongman leaders, extra-legal measures. Both sides increasingly believe the system is broken beyond reform, that it needs to be torn down and rebuilt. When the moderates lose control, when the extremes gain mass support, stage 5 is here, and we're closer than most people realize. Stage 6. Government overthrown. Chaos follows. This is what nobody wants to think about, because stage 6 is chaos. In France, 40,000 executed in the terror. In Russia, 10 million dead in civil war. In Cuba, dictatorship for 60 years. American exceptionalism says it can't happen here. We're too stable, too wealthy, too democratic. That's what they said in France. Russia was an empire that had lasted 300 years. Cuba was prosperous and modern, and all three collapsed. The pattern doesn't care about exceptionalism. So what does all this mean for us today? Here's the brutal truth that nobody in power wants to admit. Once you're in stage 4, it's very difficult to stop. What stage 6 would look like in America? Nobody knows exactly, but history gives us clues. Political violence escalates. Not riots, organized violence, assassinations, insurgency, the military and police fracture. Some units side with the government, others with revolutionaries. Supply chains break down, food shortages, fuel shortages. The economy collapses because nobody trusts anything. States try to secede or refuse to recognize federal authority, and foreign powers interfere. China, Russia. They'd love to see America burn. The chaos could last years. Millions could die. And what emerges on the other side won't be the America we knew. It could be authoritarian. It could be fractured into regions. It could be something worse. For your life. But how does this affect me? You're thinking, let me tell you, mate. If we enter stage 5 and revolutionary movements gain mass support, your 401k? Gone. Your savings? Worthless. Your job? Probably doesn't exist anymore. In revolutionary chaos, the economy collapses. Banks close. Supply chains break. Food becomes scarce. Violence becomes common. You think I'm exaggerating? Ask anyone who lived through the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Cuban Revolution. They'll tell you how fast everything fell apart. One day you're living a normal life. The next day the government has collapsed and armed groups are fighting in the streets. Can we stop it? Theoretically? Yes, if we made massive changes right now. Address wealth inequality, tax the ultra-wealthy, rebuild the middle class, fix government corruption, restore faith in institutions, make people believe the system can work again. But realistically, no chance, zero. Why? Because every solution requires short-term pain. Higher taxes on the rich means the rich fight back. Rebuilding manufacturing means higher prices. Serious reforms mean confronting powerful interests. Politicians don't get elected by promising pain. They get elected by promising everything will be fine. France didn't fix it because the nobility refused to give up privileges. Russia didn't fix it because the Tsar was too weak. Cuba didn't fix it because Batista was too corrupt. We won't fix it because the politics won't allow the necessary changes. The warning signs are everywhere. Political polarization is at levels not seen since the Civil War. Violent rhetoric is normalized. Conspiracy theories are mainstream. Trust in democracy itself is collapsing. And every day, the temperature rises a little more. The pressure builds a little more. France went from everything is fine to king beheaded in 5 years. Russia went from empire for 300 years to complete collapse in 8 months. Cuba went from prosperous country to communist dictatorship in 2 years. The acceleration is what should terrify you. Once stage 5 begins, stage 6 comes fast. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. Every nation saw it coming. France held meetings. Russia had warnings. Cuba had diplomatic cables. They all ignored them because facing reality hurt too much. We're in the same cycle of denial, rationalization, blame, bargaining, panic. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. JFK, so you have 3 choices. Deny it. Pretend it can't happen here. Prepare for instability. Build resilience. Fight for reform before it's too late. Most will choose number 1. A few will choose number 2. Almost none will choose number 3. And that's why the pattern keeps repeating. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, and the rhythm is getting louder. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe so you don't miss what happens when stage 5 arrives. Because when it does, you'll understand exactly what's unfolding. And why. Stay aware. Stay prepared. See you in the next one. If there is one.